Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 105.
Wow.
Of Discourse and Magic. I remember before when we were at like 70 or 80, I was like, I'm not going to say the numbers so emphatically until we get to like 100. But I feel like from 100 to 200, I'm just going to go crazy. I'm going to be like, 105!
Once we hit 200, we'll be way too big to talk about.
Yeah, then we can't.
We'll
then
be like those YouTubers that were like, my video got 600 million views. And you're like, go fuck yourself, buddy.
It'll be just like that. Anyways, welcome to episode 105. We are here past the 100 mark and loving it. A lot of magic going on. A lot of cool guests coming. And
we have guests?
Well, not on this episode, but we've got a week scheduled where we've got some real gemstones that I think people are going to be pumped about. And let's jump into the Me and You episode the way we usually do.
How did you get into magic?
No, that's not it. How are you?
I always make that joke. I'm good. I am good. I'm excited to be here. It's been about a month since I've seen you. Life has been kind of hectic, and magic's taken a bit of a back burner, not a complete shut off, but a bit of a back burner for me in the past month, just because there's other things going on. But I'm very excited to be back recording for this week. It always inspires me to just jump right back into it. How are you doing? What's going on in your life?
Yeah, things are going good. I had some crazy amount of shows going on in March. A lot of Dave and Buster's stuff. A lot of just random shows with random people. Toronto Magic Company is going strong. We're now doing Newest Trick in the Book every single Tuesday, which is crazy. It's just like, one of the reasons I was advocating for it is, now it's a thing. Like, it's a thing that happens every Tuesday. Like, people can think about it, and like magazines can be like, here's a fun thing you can do every Tuesday. It doesn't need to be like the first 2 Tuesdays of every month. It's just happening every week. But it also means that I have been trying and testing out new material like crazy.
Out the waz.
Yeah, and I've had a lot of fun ideas. Actually, we have to go between this and our interview later today. We have to go to the store because I'm picking up I keep forgetting the goddamn name of it. When you wear like a gemstone on you and it does something magical.
An amulet.
An amulet. Yeah. An amulet. I want to pick up an amulet because I want to do a trick with an amulet because I feel like that's right on point. So I know where to go. So it's just down the block.
Sweet.
But yeah, so I've been testing out some mad new material.
That's exciting.
Yeah. And I do stuff with, I got a lot of potion stuff, a lot of amulet stuff, did a lot of fun, had a lot of fun with the time machine phone again. And building some cool props. So just pumped. Magic is going well.
Yeah, I think it's huge that it's every week now because there were so many times there was someone who would just walk in to the bar, they'd see the show and be like, this is great. When's the next one? I'm like, first 2 Tuesdays of every month. And they're like, that's 4 weeks from now.
They're like, I don't know.
But we were just like, every Tuesday. If it's a Tuesday and you got nothing to do, show up here.
Bingo.
Awesome magic show.
Bingo. So really pumped about that. A few other things, like Spidey was in town for a few days, so I got to see his show again, or not again, for the first time, which was very fun.
Yeah, good show.
It was a good show. Tough crowd.
All right.
There was like seats for 100. There was like 25 kids, and none of them really wanted to be there. It was for a university, so it was hard to see that, but it was cool to see a pro deal with it. Yeah. And then he came out to Newest Trick, and there's
almost nothing more educational than watching a pro bomb. Not to say that he bombed, because I don't know, but I wasn't there, but like watching someone you like really respect just get shit on by a crowd and just handle it, like walk off that stage with confidence. I'm never more impressed. I don't care how good your magic is.
Yeah, it was great to see. He did an outstanding job. In this month also, I know the episode just came out, but Paul Vigil stayed by me for a few days, which was fun. Just, we went through a lot of magic in his repertoire. We talked magic. We got really deep into the stuff that he's doing and working on. And now I've seen him do a show, do a lecture, and he spent a few days in my house just like jamming out and going through some random stuff. So no, I'm not bragging. I'm just saying that like
episode 105.
I'm just saying that like it was very cool to work very closely with somebody sort of that caliber. And
sure.
Now back at it with the podcast and super.
I'm wearing my first pair of corduroys.
Yo, that's lit.
I've never owned corduroys before. They are great pants.
I
highly suggest corduroys.
They look good.
They make noise. If your legs,
yeah,
that's something you really got to be cognizant of. Don't walk around with headphones on because people will stare. That's my PSA about corduroys. Pick up a pair.
That's great.
Corduroy, please
little bit
sponsor
of
us.
learning about corduroy. Wanted to chat a little bit about the t-shirts. I know in our last episode we were like, maybe we got these, maybe coming out soon. And then a few days later I was like, launch!
Yeah, happening.
So there's Discourse of Magic t-shirts still available. There's about, 70 or 60 left. I don't know. So if you love what we do, if you listen to this all the time and you want to support us, or you want to have something to wear to Magic conventions and have people like, oh, what the heck is that? You'd be like, I'm in the know. I know cool stuff.
Be a brand
Now's
ambassador.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And speaking of Magic conventions, you know what's happening this month?
Oh my goodness.
The Bash.
The Bash.
The Big Bad Bash.
Yeah. The double B.
The Browser Bash.
The
That's
Browser
right.
Bash.
The double B. You had me for a second.
Yeah.
Which will be fun because I always think of that. There's always so much going on there, but I always think of that event as, part of our origin story.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It has a big role. I know we haven't spoken about like Magic Camp in a while because it's been off the grid, but Browser's Den is a great shop, and it's so fun that when these magicians come to town, like Paul Vigil or Spidey, whatever, they're like, I want to go stop in at the Magic store. And it's just like, yes, like it reminds me that it's such a cool, fun staple of Toronto. Like it's cool that we've got one, like Jeff's a gem. And like, so it's going to be fun this year to like see 400 magicians again. And if you bought a shirt, wear it.
Do it up, please.
Wear the shirt.
Please.
I'd love to see you guys wearing some Discourse and Magic gear.
The Dim Gang.
Yeah. The Dim Gang. Someone recently online called it the Discourse Army, which I really liked.
Oh,
I thought that was good. I remember when we first started, we were like, what should we call our fans? And then we didn't have any fans, so we didn't name them. But then someone with Discourse Army, and I've been calling it that for a while. I like it. The Discourse Army. So yeah.
D-Nation sounds horrible.
I'm part of the D-Nation. Ew.
Don't really know if I can endorse that one. But
yeah, so that is coming up, and I'm very, very pumped about it. I don't know. I know I spoke about this last week, but and sort of I'm hinting at someone who we're going to have on the podcast shortly, but there's people that we're going to have on who have done many things in Magic, from performing to consulting to performing at restaurants and bars and trade shows and all this crazy stuff. And I'm just thinking, like, I could lead a life of magic. Like, I could have a Magic podcast and produce shows and be a performer. And, because I always go back and forth. Part of me is like, if I really want any of these things to make it, I need to commit.
Right.
And then another part of me is like, can't I just be a Magic person? Like, can't my life just be Magic the way that someone who, I was thinking about this when we were getting the mics, but someone who works at Long and McQuaid, like, they have a band at night, but during the day they work at a sound shop, and like they also maybe do sound stuff for someone on the side. Like, I don't know, like, can't that just be it? So
it's so funny to walk into any music store and realize that every single employee had a gig late in the night before. You know what I mean? Like, there's a reason it opens at 11, and that's because that's the earliest they can get people to walk through those doors. They're always out, always doing shows. Yeah, they're all musicians and stuff. And listen, I'm not planning on working at a Magic store, but there's cool projects, sort of more informative stuff other than t-shirts, which I'll be talking about shortly. But there's some more informative stuff other than t-shirts that I would like to produce through Discourse and Magic that I think would be very cool. And like Toronto Magic Company is working with lectures, and we're putting on shows with big name guys. And it's just like, I was thinking about it the other day, like, I love performing, but I think my passion is just Magic. Like, I think it's just, I know that sounds weird, like, because it's better to be more specific, but performing's great, but also creating's great. And it's also great to watch people's act and give them notes that come from meaningful to them.
Yeah, like come from, I know we were talking about this a little while ago, but we had Grimazing Reed on, who we've mentioned him a few times on the podcast, and we had him on, and he had a great act. He did a great job. And then he asked for some notes on stuff, and I think I gave him some ideas that I thought were good. And I was just like, yeah, I can give advice to people. This is cool. And by the way, big shout out to him, not only for doing a really great job on Newest Trick, but also because he listens to every episode of the podcast and we were talking about it. It's so crazy to me. He also mentioned to me that he went full time for thankful for a lot of different people. But one of them was for the podcast, listening to episodes like Lou Serrano and listening to like what we talk about. And I'm just like, damn, like people. Actually, it's not just ear candy. Like, yes, from the get-go, I don't know if people have been remembering from for a while, but when we were talking about the podcast, we were like, this isn't just for people to like ponder on philosophical things. We want
action.
Yeah, we want people to take action. We want, this isn't the reason we're not just interviewing people and finding out their backstory, but instead we're talking about things that might actually affect a listener is because we want them to take action. We want this stuff to be valuable. And it's just so darn cool that there's people that are taking action and like doing cool stuff with it. And I'm just so big shout outs to Graham Reed. And he's a boss. He did some cool magic. He did some he made a cool graphic for Newest Trick, a little animated thing, which looks fantastic. And it's just great. It's cool to have
fucking multifaceted people.
Exactly.
God damn it.
But it's just cool to be surrounded by people who are great at what they do and who love this art and who it's just real cool. So I've been in a very thankful mood the last few weeks, thankful for the growth of Newest Trick. I always wean in and out of, sort of say this on air, guys, but I wean in and out of like the love for this podcast. Like it's amazing. Part of me is like
a week ago I thought this was over.
Yeah,
and then I walked through this door and I was like, I never want to stop.
Yeah, like could my time be better served doing something else? And then I get back on air like this, or I start planning and we get people confirmed for upcoming episodes, and I'm just like, crap! Like, why would I stop this? That would be ludicrous.
Yeah.
So I've just been very thankful recently to all the things going on, like this podcast, like Toronto Magic Company, Newest Trick, and just the ability to have such a glowing magic community in Toronto. It's unbelievable. And people, like we were talking before, like people online who bought the shirts, who are like posting themselves wearing the shirts. Like, I don't think I'll ever get over that.
Nuts.
I went to see, as a sort of off topic, but I went to see the only person I've ever gone to see in concert, who I've seen 3 times, actually barring, who I'm going to say, but barring one person. What my first concert ever was Hannah Montana Miley Cyrus tour. And then after that, I've been to 3.
It doesn't get more cool, really.
No. After that, I've gone to see this gentleman 3 times. His name is George Watsky, one of my favorite artists. I don't know why. I love him. I think he's great.
Oh,
he's a rapper.
Yeah, he is like, what I love about him is that he is a niche rapper that doesn't only rap about his niche.
No, he's
what I mean? Like Lil Dicky's a white Jewish rapper.
Yeah.
So is Watsky, but you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's great. I'm a big fan. He's got great people on his like team. Anyways, what I was going to say about it is I've seen him 3 times, and although his music has gotten better and what he's done has gotten better, the very first time I saw him, he was at a very small theater. I think it was the Phoenix, if you know.
I know the Phoenix,
spot. I feel like you would. And he was glowing on that stage. And he also does like spoken word. And before he did one of his spoken word things, in the middle of the concert, he was just like, I just can't believe that. And the place was empty. Like it fit like 300, maybe there was 150 people there. And he was like, I just can't believe that in a city I've never been in, there's 150 people that came to watch me rap and do spoken word. Like, that's crazy. And you could see it on his face. And like now he's like, I don't want to say he's a diva, but he's gotten used to the fame and like the stuff that's going on for him.
He's Watsky.
Right. So I think about that with the podcast. Like I still can't believe that people are wearing the shirts. And I hope that comes off to people in a way that they're like, yeah, get in now before he's too big to care. I mean, I don't think I ever will be, but it's just so damn crazy that people are like, yo, I'm going to rock your shirt. Where I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Like I went out with friends last night and my friend just like lifted up her sweater and she was wearing the shirt, and I just like, I died. I was like, I legitimately haven't seen a shirt in person yet, and you're rocking it. Like, it was the best. One thing I forgot to mention, magic-wise, that happened for me, which it was just such a cool experience because it was so human, I guess, is the right way to describe it. But I think I mentioned in the last You and Me episode that I've wanted to start cutting hair and learning how to barber and things like that. And I've been studying a lot the same way you do on YouTube, reading, downloading books and things like that. And I posted in a group called Buns. I'm sure you've probably heard of it, for hair, Buns Hair Zone. And I asked if there was anyone who wanted to teach
people
me
what Buns is if you're not from Toronto.
So Buns is a Facebook group. There's Buns Trading Zone, where basically you have something you don't want anymore. Let's say it's like a coffee maker. It's old. Someone else needs a coffee maker, but you need a lamp. You post,
just
hey,
bartering.
I have a coffee maker. You say, I'm in search of these things, and people DM you, and then you make trades.
Yeah.
And there's all these different specific zones. Like there's photo, video, there's board games, there's pets, and there's a hair zone where people are like, hey, I need a model for this, or like, what would you suggest I do if I have this problem with my hair? So I posted in there saying, I want to learn how to cut hair. I've only given one haircut before. I know nothing. I do know how to do magic. Is there any hairstylists that want to know how to perform magic? Maybe we can trade trades. And she messaged me with it. A hairstylist at Tony and Guy, check them out, messaged me right away and was like, I loved your post, made my day. Find a model, come in on this day, and I'll show you how to cut hair. So I did. We hung out in the back room. We had coffee. We did magic for about an hour and a half. And then my friend Daniel came and we cut his hair. And she taught me, a lot of things that I knew from videos, but seeing the hands on and having her position my hands for me and stuff was just, it was, very helpful. And it was so cool that like we could just share knowledge, and that was enough.
First of all, I love what you said about it being human, but I also wanted to touch on the fact that like, it's a skill that you have. Like magic is a skill that you have. And it can, like, I always think about posting on that group being like, I need this. I'll put on a show for you and your 5 friends. Like, let's just come over and do a private show for you guys. Like it's a tool. Like, it's a thing that you have. Like, it's an ability that you have. Like, and I'm always very pumped about that. Because sometimes you think about it and you're like, I just do card tricks. Like, there's people who know who are like so hireable, like they're lawyers, or like, maybe they've got skills using like Photoshop or like Microsoft Office or things like that. I'm like, I freaking do card tricks. And then every now and then I think about it and I'm like, I've got a gift. Not only do I have the skill of doing it, but I can make people feel a certain way. And I've got very good like ability to work with an audience and audience control and like, manage people and make sure they have a good time. And, I've done it hundreds of times, and like, it's a thing. Like, it's got value. And whether you're getting gigs or whether you're like posting in bartering zones and doing free shows for things, like, I don't know. You've got to, if you're listening to this, like, you can do a trick. Like,
yeah. Do it. Go do it.
You've got a skill. So that's definitely really big. I want to get something. So I want to show this to you. Stall for time.
Okay, not a lot of you know this, but Jonah is secretly...
What were you whispering?
Nothing.
Okay, so check this out. Ben let me borrow this. And I was thinking about this idea for a very long time, but I wanted to put it out into the podcast world because I kind of want to know what the world thinks about it. And this is not new by any means, but have you ever heard of this?
Yeah.
So it's called Philosophy Bites. And just looking through it, and like, it's like essays from different philosophers, except they're like conversation style, like as philosophy is.
Right.
And I was just thinking about like, this gotta exist for Discourse of Magic. Like, it has to exist. Like, just it's a book. Like, it's a book. Like, we can have a book. And like, I don't know. Part of me is so damn pumped about that. And no timeline on it, so don't even message me about it. But definitely message me about it to say whether you think it's a good idea and to just explain what it is. It's a book.
Wait, is that a rabbit or a duck?
That's the point. Yeah. So it's a book, and there's like, in this Philosophy Bites book, there's 5 sections. So there's ethics, politics, metaphysics and mind, aesthetics, and God, atheism, and the meaning of life. And each one of those sections have 5 philosophers writing or a conversation about it. And I've been really thinking about it. Like, one could be performance, one could be philosophy, one could be, and we have so many interviews to pull from that this has 25 philosophers in it. I'd love to take 25 of the episodes that have really like resonated.
Yeah, hit hard.
Yeah. And just make something like that to have, I don't know. I've been very, I've created some sort of tricks and stuff, and I've made variants to tricks in enough ways that I'm like, I could publish this. And then I think about it and I'm like, no one freaking needs my version of X. Like, no one needs it. Like, you don't need
Yeah.
it. The same way I didn't need it, and then now it's just mine because of just, like, I don't know. No one needs it. So I'm always very hesitant to be like, here, I'm going to release my take on the whatever. Like, this move, you know what I'm talking about. But people like, I could probably release that.
You
like,
could.
Like, I got
of all the things,
cool.
that's the thing.
It's a thing. Like, I do a lot of cool stuff with it.
I feel like both of us maybe have one thing that's like trick-wise or method-wise that's worth publishing, like legitimately, and I don't want to release a manuscript for one thing. Yeah, I don't want to make an instant download.
But I think like I have enough material to make a set of lecture notes in terms of like my takes on this trick and my take. Like, I honestly
I'm not saying that you don't have enough. I'm just saying like in terms of shit you'd really want people to know about. You know what I mean? Like that. Like I think that move is like almost necessary.
Yeah, I think people should know about it. I agree, and that's why everyone I show to, I'm like, here, this is what it is. Don't publish it.
Yeah, don't steal it, please.
But then part of me thinks like, Magic needs another book about magic. Like, it needs another book about what it is. You know, I was just looking through that scripting magic book. The volume 1 and 2 have come out. 2 just came out recently. And I was looking at volume 1. I was like, this is an amazing book. Like, there's a lot of like a lot of people wrote stuff. Like, it's really valuable. Like, I'm like, God damn it. Like, this should exist more. So I've been really thinking about it. And then the other part of my brain is like, no one wants it, Jonah. Everyone wants to buy more tricks. So if that is something of interest to you, and when we released the shirt, I sent out a little survey saying like, would you rather the shirt or would you rather like an information product like to buy? And maybe like 40% or something said they wanted an information product, which was valuable for me. But if you think it would be cool to have a book full of little essays and conversations with magicians, whether it's stuff from the podcast or extra stuff, or, you know, that really sums up some of the views of this podcast and the people coming on it, even if the views are, if they butt heads and things like that. If you think that's a good idea, message me. Send me a message, send me an email. If you think it's a good idea for us to release a book that has conversations with incredible magicians, send me a message. DM, comment on this if it's a thing. Like, just let me know, because if there's enough want for it, I'll definitely do it, because I've been pumped about this idea. Like, this is so cool. I don't know.
Do you ever? This is totally an aside. We edit this out.
We have a podcast.
Yeah. We got shirts. Not about magic anymore, bitches.
About whatever we want. We have shirts. I don't.
So, like, I have this spot on my penis. No.
Oh, no.
Okay. No.
Oh, no.
Is that normal? No. Have you ever watched the show History Bites?
Yes.
As soon as you showed me that book, I was like, what happened to that show? Yeah. That was one of the greatest things to be on television, and I think we could do it. I think we could do it, even if we did it like History Bites, video style. You know what I mean? Just like little back and forth, put it out in a series or whatever. There's a lot of potential for combing through our knowledge that we've acquired over the 2 years we've been doing this.
And I also feel like, you know, a lot of people have listened to episodes once and it's hard to internalize it. And on that same opposite note, like, people say things to me like in person. Like Graham Reed said, I don't remember what it was, but he said something like, yeah, like when this guy said in this episode, like that, you know, I really learned a lot from that. And I'm like, shit, like there's 100+ episodes that you can listen back to and realize there's like amazing information in them. I don't know. Sometimes I just get really baffled by that.
Yeah. It's a huge project. Like the idea of like sitting down and really reabsorbing everything that we've recorded is daunting. And we talk about it all the time. Like we should just do it. And then
I will keep listening to it. I've also finished recently a podcast I was listening to, so I'm aching for a new podcast. I'll just listen to myself. That won't be brutal. That won't be brutal at all. So yeah. Anyways, part of me is like, just release a trick. Like, people need to see it. Like, it's valuable. Like, in the world. And the other part of me is like, let me just give that as a gift to anyone who meets me. If they like it, great. If they don't, no problem. And let me like release something that'll actually make an impact on my, because I think like all the magic books that are out there, there's like 10% are theory, maybe, right?
Yeah.
And like
there's a lot of magic books.
Yeah, and that's the number one kind of book that I buy. Like, if you look at my shelf, like most of it's theory. Like, so that's the kind of thing.
It is mostly.
That's the kind of thing that I get. So, anyways, just something that's been on my mind. Love to hear from you guys.
Yeah, I haven't done it, but I have started. I have started to keep my New Year's resolution.
I remember what it was.
Good. No, we'll leave it there. No, I have started writing a show, finally.
Oh, cool.
I've never tried to write a show for myself start to finish, and I don't have the list of tricks I want to do or anything. I more so know what I want my show to be about now, and that's really exciting. And it's been instead of playing stupid games on my phone when I'm doing my subway commutes, I am now scripting, and it feels great.
So what's the show about?
Okay, so it's basically about how...
You know it's deep when it starts with, okay,
yeah,
so
no.
have you ever heard of...
So, in the beginning...
No.
It's basically about how it's... Why I am where I am, why I'm choosing to do a show in general, and what it means to me, is the opening to it. It's sort of what draws you in. I'm sort of talking about myself, and it's a self-expression kind of show. But the end point of it is that it's not how you describe or characterize yourself that makes who you are. It's the actions that you do. It's what you put out there. So like you can say, oh, I'm a metalhead, but if all you do all day is taxes, you're an accountant.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's sort of... It's more about how I didn't want magic to define me, but it has, because it's been the focus of my life for 10 years. Right? And regardless of what it is that you do, remember the magic that is a part of it. Because I truly believe that magic is everywhere, and that's sort of the opening to the show. Is like it's inspired by the Garrett Thomas episode with the balloon,
Paul
right?
And
Paul Vigil, yeah.
And
that childlike
Jared
sense
Kopf,
of wonder
yeah.
still can exist, and you don't need to do magic tricks to feel something, because the first, I don't know, probably 7 minutes of the show, there's no magic.
Right.
It's just talk, right? And I think that's a cool way to start a show for me. It's inspired a lot by Scott's show, and I hope I'm not ripping it off too directly. But one stipulation that I decided to challenge myself with is kind of like the opposite of your show, is no audience interaction. Just me doing the magic. So it's a show you're just watching. It's not... It's not you, ma'am, in the front row.
So no
please
one's
pick a
picking
card.
a card.
Nobody's picking a card. It's just life talks and magic related to it.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean,
it's called And Now I Guess I Have to Do a Show.
I think that's great. And I think it's great that, there's nothing better than not opening that time-wasting app that you use, whatever that is for you, listening to this, whether it's like Instagram, or for me recently, like I play a lot of chess.com. There's nothing better than not opening that time-wasting app that you usually waste time on and being like, this thing I wanted to work on, you like open up notes and you like there's nothing better than that.
Yeah.
And I think about when inspiration strikes, and it's just great to say, I'm going to do this now. Like, instead of doing the dumb shit, like, that's when it's apparent to me how hard I'm working, when I'm doing a dumb thing. Like, when I'm, like, playing, not that chess is dumb, but, like, when I'm, like, playing chess against some guy.
I play checkers, so.
against some guy in, like, Zimbabwe or whatever, or, like, whatever I'm doing, like, I'm just, like, I could be doing actual stuff that furthers my life in so many ways. And it's cool when you're, like, no, I've got this to do instead.
Yeah.
So that's really great. And I'm sort of making leaps and bounds in the production of what I'm doing. And I mentioned going out to get that amulet. There's another word for it, which it'll come to me because I was looking them up.
I keep wanting to say mandala, but that is not mandala.
I'll tell you why you're saying that. Sorry, I'm just Wikipediaing. I've been on this amulet page. Talisman.
A talisman. Oh, yeah. That's a good word.
Yeah,
that's better than amulet.
I know. They're both really good. So,
I just thought of a really cool, interesting... So you're doing a lot of, like, potions and artifacts and things, right? So, like, I don't know what the premise of your show is, but it'd be kind of cool to be, like... I guess it's too far gone, but, like, have everything be sacred? Like, you're part of some secret order?
So the premise of the show is that I don't know if it's magic is real or magic isn't real, but the premise is like your magic, like card tricks and coin tricks and stuff, that's not real. It's real magic. That's how we're doing this. That's how, so it's like, I'll prove it. I'll take this potion or you take this potion. The reason I know how to do this is because I'm always wearing this amulet. Do you want to put it on? Put it on, or like it breaks and I can't do stuff. Like the premise is like real. Like I call myself from a phone from the future, and like just stuff that is real. And I haven't.
That's a great trick, by the way.
The phone call from the future.
Yeah.
It still needs a little bit of work, but
and it's your champagne glass or wine glass with the things.
Oh yeah, that's good.
So good.
I didn't come up with it.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'd never seen it before you, and it was just so cool.
Yeah, Phil Bowser found it, but it's clear choice. It's on Penguin. It's really good. But anyways, like that's the idea of the show is I need to use that stuff. So every like few weeks, a piece of real magic jumps into my brain. Like 3 or 4 days ago, I was like, amulets, like that was it. Like I was just like a gem, like a lucky gem, like that's a thing, like lucky gems. And then so now I've been like Googling amulets and talismans, and that's why it was like on my Wikipedia search history, like because that's the stuff I'm thinking about right now. Because
and what about all the pornography? Is
that,
no, that's not for the show.
That's on the desktop.
Unrelated.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I think about that stuff because I'm like, I want to do real, like, I don't know. I think people know that it's not real, so I can have fun with it and have them join me in it. And I'm wondering if it's too much to have 10 different things like talismans and potions and time machine phones, like if that's too much, if I need to like go in normal and then break and tell them like,
what if you're like a Chris Mysterion?
What if I'm Mysterion?
Like, no, don't walk out and say I'm Mysterion. I mean, like, what if you're...
A white streak through my hair?
Yeah, not anymore.
I know.
What if you like live, like, the realness... We've been to his house. He collects crazy shit. Like, just go in there.
The craziest thing about him, I think we mentioned in the podcast, is like, you go to his house and you're like, oh, this is you.
Yeah, you're like, oh, this is who you are.
You have
are
creepy
Mysterion.
Things in your house, like okay.
You're like, oh, that cheetah print suit matches your cheetah couch, your real cheetah couch with a head coming off of it. Okay, that's cool.
This is you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't realize. I thought it was a bit.
But like, what if you just like have accumulated oddities with supernatural powers?
Yeah, I mean, like it could be like that
way it's not too much.
Historic, like so that's the stuff I've been playing with recently, and I'm just trying to like pull it all together. And I've got these weekly newest tricks to like bring talismans and potions and stuff to. And now I'm at this weird point where like I keep coming up with new real magic things like potions and talismans, and then I'm like, how do I know what someone's thinking without them picking a card? I think about that once a week now. I'm like, how do I get magic to happen without any of the things that I've been doing forever? And it's such a crazy thought, but I'm just like, it's what I'm constantly thinking of. How do I make real magic? God damn it.
Yeah, how do you justify the impossible? It's like, I want them to not think I'm tricking them, but anything I say is either clearly bullshit.
Well, no, I'm not worried about that because I want them to know that it's like clearly bullshit. No. My big problem is like, I need so
clearly bullshit that they can't bridge. They're just like laughing at the fact that you think you have a magic sponge or whatever.
Yeah, and I want to pair these things. I'm just like, how do I actually read a mind? I'm always thinking about that stuff now because instead of me, because this is the dream, right? Like you're thinking about a show and you're thinking about it from the premise of what you want the magic to happen. And then you're like, I don't know how I would do that. I just want it, like that's like the dream is not to start with a trick and be like, how can this be a little bit about me? Or worse, like not change it at all and just like leave it as is. But like, this is the dream to be like, I want a lucky amulet that makes people lucky. And then I'm like, how does luck happen? Like that's the right line of thinking for coming up with magic. And like,
but there's a lot to go on there. I mean, like that's a very specific example with a lot to go on. But I mean, like, hockey players have rituals, like everyone's got rituals. Magicians have to have rituals, like there's something.
Bingo.
There you go. You're welcome, everybody.
Rituals. See, that's another one, right? Rituals. Like, I get that superstitious stuff going on. What else?
Because then you can also be like, I really like the idea of it all just being superstition, because you're like, maybe it was a coincidence.
Yeah, and also,
but
like,
I keep doing it.
it
I
can
keep
also be
knowing
fun
what card
if-
you picked.
I don't really believe it, right? Like, what if the first few tricks are like normal magic, and then I'm like, there's this amulet. I don't believe it, but I just wear it. I don't know. It's something about it feels right. You know, like, I don't know. And then it works, or it stops working when I take it off. And I'm like, no! You know, like, there's all these different ideas and different ways.
You're like, this is bullshit. You want to try it? You can't. You can't have it.
Yeah,
it's mine.
I would give it to you, but I'm sort of nervous that it works. So, yeah. So, anyways, that's the stuff I'm playing with for, like, my show.
Just
and
take
I
it
love...
off and faint instantly.
I love the testing ground of newest trick that I'm like, today I have potions. Today I have amulets. Today I have a time machine phone, you know,
right,
like
today
I'm superstitious. And I just like, I get to try cool things, and I'm so, I'm obsessed, you know, like I'm back in the joy of creating magic. And on the other lens, like I've tightened up my like opening performance that I'm doing at Dave & Buster's. Like I've eliminated a lot of the words. I'm like just tightening up moments.
Awesome.
And it's just getting this 15-minute set that is 2 tricks is finally going to be a 9-minute set of 2 tricks, which is going to allow me to add another trick in the and just like, so it's there. Like it's just,
and
it's
like, not that
tight...
newest trick isn't a real performance, but it doesn't feel the same way as Dave & Buster's. I'm assuming. I've never done Dave & Buster's. Like, when you walk on stage and there's lights and music
more
and
than
more
that
people.
is at Dave & Buster's, those people came to play games. So you have to be like, no, watch the show. So it's such my job off the bat in the first minute to be like, this is going to be a crazy show.
Yeah, you're not only selling yourself,
it.
You're selling the headliner, right?
So that plays a huge role in it, and is a lot of reason why it's tight, you know, the beginning of my show.
It's
because
more
like,
vaudevillian than
I'm just trying to get everybody in. Boom, get in. So that was good. Oh, I forgot to mention I spent some time with Shinlin when he was in town, which was
cool.
really cool.
I didn't know that.
And he might be coming on the podcast. Those are some winks. As in maybe in the future.
Yeah.
It's scheduled. I'll just say that. It's scheduled.
Shinlin's coming.
He's coming.
By the time you hear this.
No, that's not true.
It's not true.
Okay. But definitely coming on. And yeah, like just to talk about what we were talking about a little bit earlier, but all these magicians are coming on the podcast, and it's just cool. I don't know. Like, not that we didn't start with cool people, or that there haven't been cool people in every set of like 10 episode windows. Like, there's always been amazing people, and everyone is great. Like, I don't invite anyone on that I don't want to have on, you know, like that's, but in the same lens, I'm like, all of the people, like, these are all the cool people.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Part of me thinks, like, instead of setting an end date, just like, finish the list, you know, like finish the list. Like if just the last one is like get Penn and Teller on the podcast, like that's just what it becomes
if
for the
every
last
week for 5 years.
We're
it's
like,
just
hey, please
Penn and
tweet
Teller
at them. Yeah.
I think there's no better feeling for me more than people wearing our shirts, and I don't know why this is a thing, but it's when a non-magician sends me a link being like, have you seen this? It's so amazing. And I'm like, episode 82.
Him.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It just
100%.
Like, have you heard this guy is real though? I'm like, yeah, we're buds.
I know
we're buds
he
now.
is real. like we spoke to him.
Yeah.
And I think about that stuff all the time, and it's just cool. And not only is this just us, I don't know, basking in a podcast, I don't know what we're doing, but it's also like a promotion for you guys to do a thing. Like, and you can see like the excitement and the energy I have about all these weekly things, like Newest Trick and the podcast. And I don't know, I think the secret to life is weekly, you know, but what I really mean by that is like the secret to life is like scheduling the awesome stuff that you do. Yeah. And for me, weekly is enough that I don't hate myself, you know, like daily might be hard for certain things, but weekly is just perfect because 2 years is 100.
And it's another thing I think is so awesome about scheduling is that you can schedule small things.
Yeah.
You're like, Thursdays, I get the expensive coffee. You know
Whatever,
what I mean? And it just
right?
changes your Thursday just by that fucking much. You're like,
Whatever.
I did it. I made it through a week without the expensive coffee, and now I paid my $7 and I'm happy.
And I'll have it, right?
Yeah.
So it's just sort of, I know it's sort of a weird recommendation, but if you do magic and you've been like, I want to start making YouTube videos, I just haven't ordered the camera yet. Or like, you're like, I want to make a blog, but I keep struggling to write. Just like weekly. Do it weekly. I don't know. Weekly
40
is the
minutes
secret
once
to
a
life.
week.
The secret to life is weekly. Like, I think that's the name of my book. My personal book that comes out. The secret to life is weekly.
Yeah.
Once a week is the secret to life. So
I got a Google Home, and it's changed my ability to schedule my life, because I'm not a person that'll take out my phone and write the thing down. I just won't do it. I'm sorry. I know it's ridiculous, but when I can just say, hey, Google, remind me to do this at this time on this date, and it's like, got it, sent it to your phone, I'm just thrilled. I'm so happy about it.
I have to show you some tricks with Google Home.
Oh.
You're going to go bonkers.
Okay.
You're going to go bonkers.
And, I mean, well, we shouldn't talk method, but do I have to pre-program them into my Google Home, or can I do them on other people's Google Homes?
I think you need to do it on your own.
Okay.
But,
all right.
But you'll love it. You'll love it.
I'm in.
Yeah. So anyways, that's that. What else do you want to talk about before we wrap it up? We're going to go live, but we figured every time we go live, y'all just ask us why we started the podcast. You know, like, so one of these times we'll go live again, or maybe we'll pre-submit questions. And oh yeah, another shout out, like if you guys want to send in questions, do it. So we've got stuff to talk about. This gentleman a while ago sent in a thing, and I was like, and then he was like, why didn't you talk about it? And I was like, sorry, you sent it over to the Facebook like
chat
inbox. And I was like, I don't remember that. And I was like, email it. And I don't know if he did, but I'm going to find it. And then we're going to talk about it because that's cool of us. So I don't know what the heck that is. I will find it and it will be amazing. So he said, I found it.
Okay.
He said, so it's from Quinn Winters. He said,
great name.
Yeah, so good. You could
God.
sell houses, Quinn. So he's like, question for the podcast. Pretty sure you both mentioned you're mathy people. Yes, we are. And there seems to be a lot of people who are mathy and into magic, myself being one of them. Have you guys seen any connection between the lessons you learned in magic and other non-magic lessons / thinking styles? Example, more academic. Lost me near the end there, so I'll say that pretty good. Have you guys seen any connection between the lessons you learn in magic and other non-magic, open bracket, more academic lessons / thinking styles?
Okay. I understand it now. Are there parallels in the line of studies?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you the biggest one that's really resonated with me for a while that came to me while I was learning math. I was in a lecture hall and I was just like it just came to me because when you do, and this might resonate with people if you've done sort of math at a higher level, just because proofs are a really different thing than sort of high school math or whatever the case may be. But in a proof, what you're doing is you're basically saying if A is true, B is true. If B is true, C is true, all the way to like G. And then you're like, therefore, G is true. To put it eloquently, you are using things that you know to prove something that you didn't know, which is so cool. You're like, I know this is true, and I know this is true, and I know this is true. Thus, this thing, which I had no idea how to prove is true, I now know is true. With magic, and I know I've mentioned this on here before, but it's such a beautiful thing. But in magic, you're saying, same idea, you're saying to a spectator, this is true. And they're like, uh-huh. And you're like, that means this is true. And they're like, uh-huh. You're like, that means this is true. Like, uh-huh. And then you're like, and now this. And they're like, that doesn't make sense. And the way that it works is one of those this is trues is secretly not true. Right? So it's like, this is the ace of spades. Yes. It's just one card. Yes. I'm going to put it in the middle of the deck. Yes. Snap my fingers and it's back on top. What? Oh, it wasn't one card. Spoilies, right? Or, oh, it wasn't the ace of spades. Spoilies. Yeah. So, and I think about that all the time because you're basically trying to take a step of reasoning. Now, in Magic, some of the things are unsaid. Like, you're not like, this is one card, like, you can see it. But if you handle it in a way that feels like one card, it's like
it's
saying,
a natural implication, right?
Bingo. It's a natural implication. So that's the biggest relationship I see between math and magic. But also, math and magic are both types of like logic play and engineering play. Which I think is a lot of the reason why people get in both. Like, when you're a young kid and you're like watching someone do a trick and you just have to figure it out. I don't know. There's something so resonant about that, as the same as someone giving you a math problem and you being like, I'm on it.
Yeah. Yeah. And those are sort of two lines of, it's sort of not two. That's sort of one line of thinking where it's sort of like, this is a puzzle I have to solve. Or you're like, I'm following the logical steps. No, that doesn't make sense. I feel magic. But I also think that there's a lot of going back to rituals and superstition. There's a lot of audience members that when I perform for them, they're like, I believe in magic now. Well, and that's not always the fault of the magician, because some people are so desperate to deceive themselves into believing in something more. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's a part of human psychology I find so fascinating.
I think that the big overlap between math and magic are from the relationships mostly of the people that do it or seek to understand it, and not necessarily from the general audience members.
But I'm not talking math. I'm talking psychology as a different field.
Another academic field. Yeah.
Academic field. I agree with you 100% on the math thing. That was the only point I could really bring up about mathematics. Is like you said, like proofwriting and the structure of it and the clarity that is necessary to achieve new information.
Mm-hmm. But I do agree with what you're saying. A lot of people go to see magic shows because they're like, magic, like maybe tonight we'll figure out that it's real.
Maybe tonight I'll speak to my grandmother or like whatever. Like
I don't know. And I thought about it recently. I told you about that story. I'm not going to retell. It's a stupid story, but that people go see magic shows for a variety of different reasons. Like, for us, it's so hard to understand that maybe some people are seeing magic shows because they like the logic puzzle, or maybe some people are seeing magic shows because in their brains, a magic show is like a high production show that you can't get anywhere else. Maybe some people are going to see a magic show. What's the word I'm looking for? Like,
ironically,
that's exactly the word that, wow, I'm blown away that you figured that out. Yeah. Like, a lot of people might be going to see a magic show, ironically, like, let's go see a magic show.
Right.
And I mean, hopefully we change their mind to that ironic opinion.
Those are fun people, actually, because when they give you shit and then you win, and I don't mean like you win and they lose, I just mean like they like you now. They're like, yo, you blew my mind. Nerds are cool. Like,
yeah, and like we have the experience doing walk around magic that sometimes people are ironically like, yeah, show me a trick. But I never thought about the fact that someone could be going to a show for that reason, or that. So it's just crazy that people come to magic with different perspectives as to what the show will be.
Yeah. I think my least favorite audience member is the boyfriend who bought his girlfriend to a magic show to explain that he knows how all the tricks are done. He is my least favorite person in the audience because you can't win with him, because if he loses, he feels emasculated in front of his girl and it doesn't go better. You know what I mean? There's no winning. Yeah. Anyway, that's an aside, but if you plan on doing that, just go see a movie and explain special effects.
And there's a big thing that Jay Sankey did, and I think Beyond Secrets, but I could be wrong. Could be a different book, but it's a great theory book by Sankey, and in it he catalogs like different types of audience members. If I remember correctly, it's more for the sake of like how to misdirect them and why some are different than others.
Right.
But it's an interesting approach to like catalog types of audience members. Obviously, everyone's different, but also people do like by knowing what type of audience members exist, how to tailor it. And while
you don't have enough time to understand someone deeply when you're on stage. So if you can box them into categories and use that information efficiently, it's good.
Barely right or marginally right or whatever, like it'll still help you make that sort of impact.
Yeah.
So now, as we're nearing the end of the episode, anything you want to share? Anything you want to say? Tell the world?
Visit your local magic shop. I
Yeah.
went into Browsers recently,
Me too.
had an amazing time.
School is
Jeff,
fun.
the owner, reached out to me on Facebook just to say, hey, how's it going? Haven't seen you in a while. 20 minutes later, I walked through the door because I was like, fuck yeah, Jeff. You haven't seen me in a while, and I want to know what's up. I went in. I talked to a young Jeff, old Jeff. Lisa Close was there, Michael Close's
Great.
wife. We had great talks about the new Darren Brown special. It was just a really good time. I really enjoyed it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, I do definitely go to your magic store.
Yeah.
If you've got one.
Buy things.
Buy things, yeah.
If you can. What about you? Any final thoughts?
Yeah, and this one's going to come well out of left field.
Okay.
Well out of left field.
So
But-
left, it's right.
Yeah. But make a prop. Or what I really mean by that is like, go shopping for magic at the dollar store. You don't realize how much you know until you're in a dollar store trying to put together a trick and you're like, I could use this paper. I could use this wine glass. I could use this egg. Like
Oh,
plastic
this is like a
egg.
semi-impromptu Sven pad. Like, it's so
Right.
cool.
And like I've made Sven pads from dollar store pads. Like, like just, and I know that's sort of opposite to a magic store. And I do still recommend go to your magic store because there's always cool new stuff and it's where cool people hang out and like, go to your magic store. Ours plays a big role in our lives, but go to a dollar store or a grocery store or a knack. Right after this, we're going to go to that store to buy the amulet. And it's one of my favorite stores in the world.
Talisman.
Whatever. It's one of my favorite stores in the world. And every time I'm there, I'm like, this could be a show. That's where I bought the Time Machine phone, like that, and everything in that store. I'm like, this could be me. Like, I could use you.
Are we going
like,
to Valley Village?
No.
Okay.
Um,
Because that's also a great fucking
that's
place.
also
It's
a
like,
great place.
you'll just
right?
find lamps and furniture that's like 80 years old, and you're like, what? This looks so interesting.
Exactly.
This would just look great on stage. I could just talk about it and do a card trick. Like
Make a thing. Like, build a thing. You
Yeah.
know. Because I've found so much joy in building a trick and an act from the ground up. And that's a lot of what I'm talking about this newest trick stuff. Like, I start with like, oh, I want a talisman, and then I go buy a talisman, and then I'm like, what's a regular prop that isn't cards that a talisman can work with? And then I'm like, at the dollar store, I'm like, oh, this could work. And then you just build it from the ground up. And I encourage people to do that because I have nothing against people who buy tricks. I buy tricks too. Like, it's all great. But something feels so great about bringing on an old rotary phone that you wrote Time Machine on and talking to yourself from the future and being like, this was me from the get. Like,
Yeah.
This was all me, and something feels good about that. So, build a thing. Build a thing and do it weekly. That's the message of today's.
Strongly, but on a weekly basis.
Strongly, weekly, better
Build
ingredients,
it.
better pizza, Papa John's. So, there you go. That's this week. Any final goodbyes? No, they're all neutered.
I'm squeezing a rubber chicken that has no squeaker. If you're wondering
They've all
what that
been
is.
neutered.
Okay. Final good. Yeah, just thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for buying the shirts.
Yeah.
Thanks for staying in touch. Yeah. Follow me on Instagram. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
that's
it.
great. You know what? On that note, feels so damn cool to be on this side of 100.
It
It
really
was like,
does.
can we make it to 100? And now we're past it. Now it's just like, another one.
Yeah,
Another
let's
one.
go,
Like,
let's
we're
go.
just on the other side of it. And we've got like 6 interviews scheduled for this week. And I'm like, that'll take us past 110. Like, I don't know what's happening, but it's just crazy.
Yeah.
So
when we do this like week chunk, it's crazy that the numbers just shoot like
that's
right
what I'm
up.
saying,
Like
'cause
right
we
here.
do
Like,
a few in a week, and then we're just like back.
Yeah.
It's just back.
yeah.
So, so thank you to you guys. And shirt's still available. Love it if you get one. Still love you if you don't. But I really do love you more if you have one. But just to be brutally honest, I think there's like maybe 25 people or so that have a shirt, and I love them just marginally more than I like you. So I'm joking. I love you guys either way. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And we'll see you all next Thursday.
Bye.